Hello, and welcome back to another Contemplative Living Podcast, where we talk about concepts to bring contemplation into our everyday lives. Now, today's subject is kind of a root text. We're going to talk about some simple tips or thoughts, patterns for contemplation. Spirit once said to me that we activate the flow of inner guidance when opening the way to our true nature. It begins to create this unlimited wisdom that's available to us. So we activate that flow of inner guidance when we open the way to our true nature. And once I grasped this thought, I was able to it altered the way that I perceived things, and I started to, think about reality in a different way. So this is kind of what we're going to talk about today, and we're not live this week because we have, life is happening, we have things going on, but I hope you join me. All right.
Welcome. Now creating a life of peace. This is Contemplative Living with David Bennett. Contemplations and reflections to help with spiritual living. This podcast is made possible by dharmatalks.com.
All right, so some common tips or just some ideas about contemplation. In last week's podcast, we kind of brought this thought into the podcast that in contemplation we wrestle with our spiritual material, and we work it into an embodied understanding. So while in contemplation, we have to kind of sometimes delve into that spiritual material that we all have, that we've all learned over time, that has brought us to this point. But have we really brought that into our being? Have we brought that into a fuller understanding? So that's what contemplation does for us. And like I said, it's altered my reality by creating a contemplative practice. So when contemplating a teaching or a theme, make sure it resonates with you. I would say this is the first tip. Make sure that it resonates with you. And if it doesn't, massage the wording until it does. Sometimes we'll take a formal teaching, a formal lesson that maybe we've read in a book or we've seen online or we've heard in another podcast or possibly this podcast, but it didn't quite resonate with us. It was a notion that felt good, but it didn't quite resonate with us. So imagine sitting in a classroom or attending a workshop where the teachings just feel a little foreign. They're disconnected from your truth. So usually when that happens, your mind will start to wander as you struggle to engage with the concepts that don't quite touch your soul. But when the message engages or aligns harmoniously with your inner being, that's when magic happens. Suddenly each word becomes an invitation to explore new avenues of thought and emotion. The resonance we seek is unique. Every one of us is unique, and what inspires one person may leave another untouched. So we take the time to reflect upon why certain themes attract us while others kind of fall flat. Delve into introspection and hone in on what stirs your curiosity or ignites excitement within you. And remember, life itself is an ever-evolving journey. It's a journey of learning and contemplation. So we want to bring that into our everyday. Now, ponder the meaning deeply and allow your heart and mind to roam through the ideas. When I first started my contemplative practice, I was kind of in a bad way. It was during my stage 4 lung and bone cancer. And so, but I had these moments of clarity that really, really gave me great benefit. And during those moments, that's when I would go into a deep contemplation and just focus on the topic, focus on the lesson. And I allowed my heart to open up and allowed it to perceive the lesson, take it in, and then allow my higher consciousness to just roam through the idea and allow it to give me new reflections, new introspection. And I was seeking a deeper understanding, and that deeper understanding is deeper. It's more involved. It's more expansive than what we get through our normal intellect. It expands around us. It gives us more meaning. It gives us more benefit in our day-to-day life once we instill it in our being, once we grasp it or hold on to it. I don't like to say grasping because we don't want to grasp, but we do want to have some things absorbed into our being so that we can be greater than we were before. We can become better. We can constantly be striving for that ultimate self, to be authentic in who we really are. So, when you start to get bored with contemplation and think you understand it thoroughly, that's when you want to sit with it and meditate. Contemplation itself, it's ever-evolving dance between our thoughts and our emotions. And just when we believe we've unraveled every layer, understood every nuance, that's where we go again. And many times when we get to that place where we think we've got it, it begins to slip away like the sand through our fingers, And that's where meditation comes into play. It gently nudges us back on track. It brings us back to our center. And in those moments of comprehension, when the mind craves novelty or diversion, don't abandon your contemplation, not just yet. Instead, sit with it even longer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sit with it longer. Allow yourself to absorb, to be absorbed in silence as you delve deeper into the abyss of understanding. That's where we want to really, that's the contemplation level we want to achieve. And it's within those pockets of stillness that new dimensions reveal themselves. They become subtle whispers from untapped realms beyond our initial grasp. And so when boredom knocks at your door during a contemplative journey, invite it inside. Invite it in for tea or coffee, whatever your cuppa is. And let your mind wander without restraint, all the while keeping one foot anchored to the subject of the contemplation. We want to always maintain a certain level of focus. So let your body and unconscious mind work within to process, to digest, and metabolize the reflection. Things are going to come up. Things are going to come up while we're contemplating. while we're in meditation, while we're in stillness, things come up. Allow that to be your stream. Allow that to carry you into greater awareness, into an expansive state of understanding. That's where the real juice is in contemplating. That's where we get the benefit. So, if you work on contemplation, it will start to work on you. Just as an artist meticulously crafts every brushstroke to create a masterpiece, so too does contemplation. It allows us to shape ourselves into the best versions of who we are and who we're meant to be. It's an ongoing process where each question poses or opens up new avenues for growth and understanding. I talk about that a lot, about opening up those avenues. And through contemplation, we venture toward introspection. And it becomes a journey toward self-discovery, where lessons unfold organically. We enter that realm where ideas collide with our emotions, with our peace, with our true sense, with our inner love, and where theories dance with experiences. Ultimately, it leads us closer to our own authenticity. Embrace that invitation to contemplation. Embrace it wholeheartedly. Now, the more advanced the teaching gets, the less there is to say. In the great halls of wisdom lies an embracing simplicity rather than complexity. So what if it's found in allowing ourselves to be still and silent? What if we allow ourselves to be still instead of constantly seeking answers? It's in that quiet stillness in between breaths where unbelievable and wisdom resides. And as teachings become more advanced and we start to move in that direction, it often leads us closer to this profound silence. And they invite us to let go of our preconceived notions and open ourselves up to new possibilities. The journey toward enlightenment becomes less about acquiring knowledge and more about shedding the unnecessary layers until only pure awareness remains. So, perhaps, instead of endlessly seeking intellectual stimulation or parroting these elaborate theories, we should turn inward, cultivating a space of stillness. Stillness within ourselves, a place for deep reflection. This inner stillness can awaken insights that surpass any words. Now, contemplation for me is a way of life. It's a way of being. But I've worked at it for many, many years. I use it as my root. I start my day with contemplation, and it helps to even out my energies so that I can approach the day with that level of peace and my true nature is present. And when I start my day that way, the day seems to flow a lot better. That's how I try to stay on track. But stuff's going to happen. Things are going to come into your life that are going to knock you off center. That's a part of being human. That's a part of being in this physical reality. But we can use our breath. We can use our stillness. We can use our true nature to bring us back on course. That's where contemplation helps. A little discipline at first, but then it eventually becomes a state of being. I hope this helps you with your contemplative practice, and I hope you have a blessed week. Namaste.
Thank you for listening today to Contemplative Living with David Bennett. Please be sure to subscribe, listen, and share with your friends wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and the Podbean app. You can find the links to these on David's website, dharmatalks.com, on the Contemplative Living page. Have a blessed week.